welcome to week 2 of the Perry Athletic Department podcast. I'm joined today by my co-host Gene Winters and Jillian Peters, who's one of our athletes of the week. Welcome back. Hope everybody enjoyed the first week of our podcast. We're going to be doing this at least once a week throughout the entire school year, fall, winter, and spring sports here. Just trying to bring some highlights of our athletes out there into the world and recognizing our athletes of the week. And we'll talk to some coaches and have some conversation about Perry athletics in general. Maybe get some behind the scenes details and some things that maybe people don't really realize what goes on sort of behind all of this success that we've had and been very fortunate to have here at Perry High School in our athletic department. We are still looking for a name for the podcast, so I'm going to throw 3 ideas out there, and then we're going to throw it out there to Twitter Nation. We have over 2,000 followers on our Twitter account, so hopefully we can get some votes going here, and we can name this podcast and keep it rolling. So 3 options you'll see out there on Twitter. Number 1, welcome to Paradise. Number 2 would be all hands on deck. And number 3, walk the plank. So make sure, if you have any interest at all in naming this podcast, hop on Twitter. We'll have that out there by tomorrow, and you can throw your vote out there, and we'll see where we end up next week, Gene.
Yeah, and it'll be finally nice to get a name to it, to get some branding to this, and get this thing continuing off and running. And for those of you looking for it, you'll be able to find it on the school's Facebook page. Also, if you want an audio version, not that you don't want to look at the 3 of us and all the guests that come here, but it will also be on Spotify. Right now, you can search it under Perry Pod, but once we get an official name for the podcast, we will change that and have more information coming within the next couple of shows.
Actually, the Facebook link is just the Spotify link.
Perfect. Well, that's even better. So find it there, and it will take you to both places.
All right, that was Mr. Kellogg. Thank you for that information. Again, behind the scenes, he's taping this for us right now. We're in the old PNN Pirate Nation News studios here, so we appreciate Mr. Kellogg and his efforts to make this podcast a reality for us. It was something that I came to him and to Gene this summer and said, hey, can we do this? This is something I'd really like to do, seeing what other schools across the country are doing. And so thank you to both of you guys for making it happen. And again, week 2, we'll see where it goes. It's my pleasure now to introduce one of our 2 athletes of the week here. Another thing that we're starting brand new this school year is our Perry Athletic Department Player of the Week. We take nominations from coaches across our fall sports teams, and we settle on a couple of athletes of the week, usually one male, one female. Our female athlete of the week this year is Jillian Peters from our girls golf team. As always, thank you to Dairy Queen for being our sponsor of our Player of the Week. Each of our athletes today will get a free meal deal plus a blizzard at the Perry Dairy Queen. If you're driving by on Route 20, you'll see their names on the board probably as early as Wednesday or Thursday of this week. We're right at here at the end of August. So congratulations, Jill, on being nominated and selected as a Player of the Week. Talk to us a little bit about your season so far and what you guys have been experiencing on the girls golf team. I know we had a first place showing along with our boys at the Northeast Ohio Kickoff Classic out at Briardale. So talk to us a little bit about your season.
Our season has gone pretty well. We do have a new coach, which makes it's kind of different, but we really are working as a team to try to get better and just to get better. And
TJ touched on it a little bit. In your opening week, you guys took a first place in the NEO kickoff, but 3 of the 5 top 5 were from Perry. Talk about the competition, the group of leaders that you guys have on the golf program.
Yeah, we're all really good leaders, definitely, because we want to help out everyone and just make sure everybody feels included in the team and not left out.
And does that help you on the golf course too? I mean, a little competition between the 3 of you. Obviously, you're all friends, but you, I'm sure, want to have the upper hand each and every time out.
Yeah, we definitely try to push each other. Yeah.
And how is the balance between seniors down to freshmen? Is there a good balance on the team?
Yeah, we actually don't even have seniors or sophomores. It's just junior and freshmen. So.
All right, that's unique.
Yeah.
Well, I know last year we qualified as a team to the districts for the first time in school history. So I'm sure that's one of your goals. You mentioned the change in coach, and that happened somewhat late for us. Typically, when there's a coaching change, it's a little bit earlier than the middle of July, right before your season starts. But a quick shout out to Coach Davidson. Blanche Davidson had been our coach here and a teacher in our building for teaching for several years in the girls golf for the last 5 years. She really did an amazing job, outstanding job. Her passion for the game of golf is second to none, and she really took our program again to that district level for the first time ever. And Coach Daniels was right along there with her for the last couple of years as our JV coach, and she is now our varsity coach. So both ladies are extremely passionate about the sport, and I know they try to pass that on to the girls and to get them playing. I saw you guys out there at Madison Country Club a couple of times this summer. You know, you're not just rolling out there on August 1st and saying, oh, I think we're going to golf today. Really, from the end of the school year, June and July, you guys are out there 2, 3, 4 days a week working on your game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so talk a little bit about the experience of playing at a place like Shaker Country Club. That was a unique experience that we get to have every year, but just talk about, obviously, we love playing at some of our local courses here in Lake, Geauga, and Ashtabula County, but that Shaker Country Club they've had PGA events there and some big-time golf events over the years. So talk a little bit about that with us.
Yeah, that was really fun because I've never really played at like a course that nice, and to be able to like play that with a bunch of other really good teams was very fun and exciting to do.
Good.
And one thing that helped you get Player of the Week was 3 straight matches under 50. So what has worked for you this year? A strength to your game. What is that if someone came out to watch?
Definitely, I think my confidence in playing, that like I don't like get scared to mess up because I bounce back.
So what got you into golf? I'm sure a mom or dad, a parent, grandfather, somebody that.
Yeah, my dad played golf like in high school and everything. So, yeah.
You guys competitive? Have you
Yes,
been able to take them down yet?
Yes.
Okay,
You
good.
have.
Yes.
All right, that's breaking news here on the Perry Podcast. Jillian has beat her dad, Scott, in a match. What is your favorite hole out at Madison? If you had to pick one or maybe two. There's 18, obviously, so there's a lot to pick from.
Probably number 3. I really
Okay.
like that one. Yeah.
And as this season continues along, what is the one thing you want to make sure happens here in your junior year? Obviously, get into the postseason, have a good run, but what are you looking for to make sure not only you as an individual, but as the team continues to progress?
I would really like for us to get like more wins and then make it out of sectionals. That would be really, really fun and cool to do.
All right, Jill. You shot a 39. I've never shot even close to 39 before. What course was that at? That was against Geneva and Edgewood.
I was at Geneva on the Lake.
Geneva on the Lake course. Okay. Well, excellent.
Just
Go
one,
ahead.
I mean,
Yeah,
outside
sure.
of golf, obviously, band is something else that you're involved in. What instrument are we playing? How has that gone in the first week, last week at Madison?
I play the flute, and I like band. It's very fun. So
A nice getaway from.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming down. Little note: she's actually shooting this during band class, so we're going to get her back out there to practice with the band here shortly. We appreciate you coming on, Jill, and spending the time with us. And I have just some fun little questions for you here at the end, and we'll get you going. Just some random off the top, so whatever comes to your mind here, there's no wrong answers. Let's talk about your favorite food.
I love pasta.
Pasta. All right. Any favorite restaurant that goes along with the pasta? Anywhere.
No.
Anywhere they serve Italian food. All right. How about a favorite movie?
Probably one of the Grown Ups movies.
Okay. Favorite subject in school?
Probably science. Yeah.
Science. And let's see, your best or most memorable athletic accomplishment here at Perry High School.
Probably going to districts. That was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, again, first time in school history. That's a momentous thing. So I know everybody was excited about that last year. And if money was no object, anywhere you could visit in the world, what would that be?
Probably Australia.
Australia's a good answer. Long plane ride, but you'll have some fun down there. You're only a junior, so you're a first junior on the show here. Any college plans or any thoughts of doing anything? You've got some time. So.
Yeah. And not exactly. I don't know.
Okay. Great, Jill. Hey, great spending some time with you, and thanks again for coming on. Congratulations on what's a great season so far, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck. Make sure you take your Dairy Queen certificate there, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, Jill. And obviously, girls golf was a starting point here for the fall podcast. But as we continue to look around at the landscape of the fall sports, let's go back. We touched on it a little bit last week. We'll just rattle through a couple of these. And let's start with cross country. They had the nighttime meet at Riverside.
Yeah, really cool event out at Riverside. They do a night race. It's one of the few in the state that actually run at night. So they've got it lit up, and I'm sure there's glow sticks and everything that the kids are wearing and different things. Again, just a fun way to start the year. Certainly want to run well, and we did. That was the good news. I mean, everybody started off. You got to start somewhere. Now their goal, I know, is to work down from whatever time each of them ran on Saturday night. They're gonna look to better it every week. And it's sort of it's a long haul. It's another 8-week season or so, but you're really trying to peak by the time those CVC championships come around, and then district meet, which is held out at Madison. So that the CVC meet will be Friday, October 11th. That's NEOEA day, so it's a little bit different. We normally don't have events on that day, but we're going to run the CVC meet that day, and then the 19th of October we'll run that district meet. So those boys and girls teams are working hard. Again, just like golf, where they started their off season, all of our fall sports really start at the end of the school year. So shout out to all of our coaches and our athletes that put that time in over that summertime. They're running every week. They're running 3 to 4 days a week, starting in June, in prep for that first week. So this week, both teams are out at the Menor Cardinal Classic, which is at Garfield Park. So that'll be Saturday afternoon. We wish them nothing but the best of luck.
Sticking with that Riverside theme, volleyball had a fantastic match there. Unfortunately, came up on the short end, losing 3-2 in that one. But that was a back and forth where they almost pulled it out at the end.
Yeah, and Riverside was out for a little bit of revenge. We upset them last year at our own tournament. We host a 8-team volleyball tournament every year in September, and that was was probably our most memorable match from last year, was actually beating them. They were in the top 3 or 5 in the top of the crop, News Herald top of the crop, and I know they're perennially one of the best programs in the area, so we knew it was going to be a tough match. We'd beaten Lakeside to start the year, had some time to prep for Riverside, and then came up just short. So anytime you can take a team like Riverside to 5, it's an accomplishment, and I'm sure we would have loved to get the win, but it will help us later down the year when we're in those tough 5-set matches. So, and I know our JV and freshmen, those programs are rolling along as well. And underway, our JV team's currently undefeated. Freshmen have had a couple of tough matches to start the year, but I'm sure they're going to bounce back here.
And girls tennis has been kind of an up and down season for them. As long as you keep them in conference play, things have been going well.
Yeah, they're undefeated in the CVC, so that I know that's one of our teams. We talk it with our coaches in our meetings and things like that every year. Again, we want to be first class in everything we do. We want to be certainly competitive at the league level. So the Chagrin Valley Conference, we've been a proud member since 2000. So going on 25 years now, and we want to compete for CVC championships in every one of our varsity sports. And tennis is no different. Obviously, right now we're 3-0. We're 3-4 overall, so we've struggled a little bit out of conference, but we've also played some really tough teams. We played Gilmore and Beechwood in the Ohio Tennis Coaches Association state match. Came up short against Beechwood, but and then Geneva, again, another strong program for many, many years. So no shame in that. And we've got Madison this week and Chardon. So Madison will be a league match again. We'll look to remain undefeated in league play. And the Hilltoppers are always strong as well.
And boys soccer had a tough one against Fairview, but again, they're just starting to get things rolling in the soccer program, but a tough one over the weekend.
Yeah, and Fairview is very good. Again, anytime you've seen, and we'll talk to Coach Stavar here from our girls soccer program shortly, when you cross that border from east to west, whatever that invisible border is, that level of soccer on the west side is just more developed than it is here on the east side. It's sort of a fact. If you look at teams from the west side versus the east, again, and Fairview's on the west side, very strong program. And, we came up short on Saturday, but we will look to bounce back. This week we travel to Conneaut, and then we will host Lutheran West on Thursday. So Come on out Thursday. That's the 29th of August. This pod will have dropped by then, so a little bit of a promotion for that night. We have our girls taking on Riverside at 5 p.m., and our boys will host Lutheran West right after that match at 7 p.m. So, again, a reminder, all of our students out there, 9 through 12, you get into free every home athletic event. So we'd love to see a crowd out there for our soccer matches on Thursday, the 29th.
And last week we had Alex Dame was our boys player of the week.
Yep.
Golf has been underway. They had a tough loss yesterday or on Monday.
They did at Chagrin Falls. Again, they're the top in our conference, in our division for boys golf. So we've lost twice to Chagrin. We're going to start to play Hawken, West Geauga, Orange, teams like that. So again, very good. The good news is we finished second overall at the CVC preseason tournament behind Chagrin. So we should be extremely competitive for the rest of our CVC matches before they hit their postseason event, which, again, it's very much like girls tennis. We talked with Audrey last week. It's sort of a sprint. I mean, you're starting August 5th with your matches, and our postseason tournament for the CVC is the 16th of September with sectionals to follow right after that. So it's a get in, get out type of a season, and I know boys golf is looking to play someone other than Chagrin Falls here coming up.
And as we transition into football and welcome in our athlete of the week, coming up in the next month here in October, you have the Ridley Run coming up.
Yeah, and Ridley Run, it's a good transition as we bring in Owen McCoon here, who's our athlete of the week on our boys side this week. Owen is a member of our football team and had a fantastic game this past Friday at Madison. But the Ridley Run is something that's been going on now for over 20 years, honoring our former head football coach, longtime football coach, Bob Ridley, and something that, again, we didn't do during COVID and things like that, but we're trying to bring some of these events back. Our Hall of Fame ceremony will happen this year for the first time in a while, or distinguished for the first time since 2019, and our Athletic Hall of Fame is now every 2 years. So we've got that event, and it ties in with the Ridley Run. We have the Ridley Run on Saturday, October 5th at 9 a.m. here in the stadium. So you can sign up. You'll see the signs all over town. They're out there. They're for everybody to see. You can sort of take a picture of that QR code on the sign, or you can go to the athletic department website and sign up that way as well. But October 5th, 9 a.m., that tradition continues. And then our Hall of Fame ceremony will start at 4 p.m. that afternoon here in the theater.
So that's a great transition. Get out there and I've seen the signs, as you mentioned. I know getting myself ready to participate in when it comes around here in October. So get signed up. A great cause, as TJ was just talking about. And one of the ways to tie this in is the Boys Athlete of the Week, Owen McCoon. Owen, for you, obviously knowing what Coach meant to here, being a relative, is there any added pressure for you to try to live up to those expectations?
I mean, a little bit, because he's like a hometown legend, I guess, for Perry. And I just always hear like the older people talking to me about how good of a person he was and stuff. And I just want to carry his legacy on and be a good person.
And you've certainly done that. You've heard about this. You've heard about your grandfather now, since I've known you as a middle school athlete and got to know you. So I know, that like Mr. Winter said, hard to live up to that, but you've certainly done that. You've had an outstanding career across all sports for us, and I know he'd be extremely proud of you. So congratulations on that. Congrats on the big win last week at Madison, keeping that little brown jug here in Perry where it belongs. That just, again, not breaking news here, but the ninth game in a row. We didn't play in COVID 2020, but the ninth game in a row that we beat Madison. So talk a little bit about that, and being part, obviously, all of your 4 years being victorious over Madison, because it always wasn't that way. Back in the 50s and 60s, they took it to us a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's great always being Madison, our hometown rivals, and it's really exciting because I don't think in any sport I've ever played in since I was born I've ever lost to them.
Right.
I really don't think I've ever lost to them ever.
That's awesome.
And I think that's awesome to say.
Oh, without a doubt.
Did that help being game one for you guys? Obviously, the success of last year, we don't want to take anything away from the championship run, but to be able to put that behind you, maybe not to have that overhang, the I don't want to call it a Super Bowl hangover, but a high school championship hangover, having them out of the gate, did that help you guys stay focused?
Yeah, for sure, because we're trying to scratch last year. I mean, it's awesome winning it, but we're on a new year now, and we're trying to get another one. And seeing Madison up on our first schedule gives us a lot more energy.
Yeah, and again, no class, right, wants to be the class that's going to lose to Madison, and it will happen. I mean, we're not going to win every time we play Friday night varsity football game against Madison. Again, the history of it goes back. I meant to bring the little brown jug down here, darn it. I wanted it front and center. Maybe we'll grab it before the end of the podcast and so everybody can take a look at it. But if you look at the jug, it goes back into the 50s with all of the scores on it, and now we have to have a bigger plaque that has scores from the last, probably 20 years or so, and those are actually pretty split. And Madison still owns a lead on us in the overall rivalry. So we've gotten the last 9, but there was a time actually before Coach Rittley came here, and he started in 1976, that we hadn't beat Madison in almost as long. So it was like a 10-year drought where we hadn't won, and he turned it back into, I credit him, I played for him, and I know what it meant to him to play Madison each and every year, and he turned it into the rivalry because before him, we just weren't as successful against Madison, and that's no disrespect to any of those players in that era. It just is what it is, and Coach Rittley said, hey, our focus, sort of like that Ohio State, he's a Michigan guy, right? So sort of like that Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, we're going to make the Madison game Madison week. They wore shirts that say beat Madison. I mean, he really started that tradition. So I know, again, he'd be extremely proud of where we've been recently with Madison. So, but 2 touchdowns, 100-yard plus total yards, playing both ways, 8 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Just a great start to your season.
Yeah, I just wherever they need me to be, that's where I'm at, and I just try to do my job the best I could be.
And a little bit, I'll just have one follow up on that. A little motivation for you. We heard some rumors last week about the student section over at Madison, the Barstool account. I think most high schools seem to have a Barstool account now. Talking a little smack or having a little fun with you and Walter and your girlfriends and different pictures. That serves any motivation for you?
Oh, for sure. When I saw that, I was a little mad. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I knew the answer to that. I knew you were upset. I knew Walter. Everybody was talking about it. I'm like, if I were Madison, I wouldn't be giving our guys any more motivation to do well on Friday night. And so when I saw you take that first run and break outside and go about 60 yards for a touchdown, I said, that's what you get. If you're going to talk, you're going to get an upset Owen McCoon, and you're going to pay the price. So,
yeah. Mess with the wrong people, I gotta say.
Very good.
Well, how did that opening touchdown, or I shouldn't say opening, but that first touchdown of the season kind of open you guys up? Because the first couple of possessions, maybe a little slow, a little sluggish, but then once that happened, it kind of opened it up. It seemed like you guys eased a little bit into the game and just played Perry football.
Yeah, I definitely felt like we relaxed after that touchdown. We're like, all right, we're back. This is us, and this is what we do. We score.
Now, obviously, being a running back, you're taking a lot of hits, but a linebacker on the other side, do you prefer the defensive side so you can go out and hit people, or do you enjoy kind of the mix of both, having the long touchdown run, being that bruiser for this team?
I mean, I love scoring, but defense is where I'm at. I love hitting people. My favorite part.
And not to get past it, because obviously you still have plenty of games left to play this year, but are you going to miss football? I mean, obviously you're going to baseball on a scholarship next year, but are you going to miss it, not to take away and brush off these next maybe 15 weeks?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to miss it because I've been playing it since second grade, and all these guys have been playing it since second grade, basically. And I'm just going to miss the team bonding and winning all these games, and especially the state championship for sure.
Excellent. And then, this week, let's talk a little bit about the Euclid Panthers. So it's our Week 2 matchup coming off a big rivalry win, as we've discussed with Madison and the Brown Jug, and obviously sandwiched between Kirtland Week 3, which we'll talk about a little bit here in a minute, are the Euclid Panthers, a big Division II school, athletic, fast. Let's talk a little bit about how the coaches have gotten you guys mentally prepared. Let's not look ahead to Week 3, even though we've got the defending Division 6 state champs coming to our house in Week 3.
Yeah, for sure. Last year, they weren't really as good. They were like 1-10, 1-9 or something. But this year they brought in a few more players, and they're starting to turn things back around. And our coach isn't letting us get past that look, and we're gonna be ready for him.
Okay.
Is there anything special you guys have planned? I mean, Coach is going back to where he played, his alma mater. Is there anything special for you guys? Anything planned for him? Maybe senior picture, something that you guys are going to bring out?
No, nothing really different. Just Perry football.
And that's how Coach would want it, I think. But I know, I believe at halftime at Euclid, they're going to honor their longtime head coach, very similar. He was actually very good friends with Coach Ritley. Tom Bank, their legendary head coach out at Euclid, they're going to honor him at halftime of that game. So I think Coach Gestowich played for him for a few years, and then he retired in the early 2000s, and he finished his career off with Coach Rizzola. But so that'll happen at halftime Friday. We're looking forward to a great game, another tough road game for the Pirates, and then as we've discussed, we're opening our home part of the season Friday, September 6th, as we welcome the Kirtland Hornets to town.
And for you, and obviously not to look ahead, we talked to Coach Gestowich last week about this, not going over Madison, not going over Euclid, but you guys know week 3 is coming. You had it on your calendar, I'm sure. You know what that means to this community after taking it to them last season, and probably going back the year before where a couple of turnovers might have turned that game. It might have been a different outcome. So how do you guys stay focused on Euclid, but also know that Kirtland is right there around the corner?
I mean, yeah, we're definitely excited for Kirtland, but right now we're just going to go 1 week at a time and prepare. We'll be preparing for them on Sunday, right after Euclid, basically, and we're all really excited about it, ready for the challenge.
Yeah, we're looking forward to a big crowd. As a footnote to that, we will, that Friday night, our Athletic Boosters has their annual tailgate party, so join us. We're going to have food trucks, ice cream trucks, all kinds. It's going to be a big party out in the parking lot there by the Rock. We've got Dr. Thompson, Mr. Porcello, some other administrators will be grilling some hot dogs, so we'll have all kinds of different foods to choose from. So join us at 5 o'clock on Friday, September 6th. We'll talk a little bit more about that next week, but just to put it out there so people can add that to their calendar and just add, I think it adds a nice touch to the game itself, and that we're going to invite all the Kirtland people to come out as well, and hope we get a good turnout, and our boosters can make a little bit of money from our sales of food.
And it's going to be a nice way to open up the home portion of it, obviously with Kirtland coming in. And not that you guys don't play in front of big crowds each and every Friday night, but is there going to be a little bit more, I don't know, juices flowing, I guess, knowing that it's Kirtland and knowing that, coming off the championship, the first time that the home fans will be able to see you guys?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think there's going to be a lot of fans, just like last year, and hopefully we get a lot like the state championship, but I don't think that'll be the case because that was a lot of people. Whole community was out, but hoping for a lot of people, a lot.
And that game will be on Spectrum. It's the Spectrum Game of the Week in the northern part of Ohio, so if you can't make it, but again, like Owen said, we hope everybody can come out that night and support the Pirates, because I know I'm hearing stuff from Kirtland already. I talked about it at Media Day. Like, they're going to pack that visiting stands. They're going to bring their people. They're going to have a great student section. We'll have a great student section. It's going to be, the atmosphere will be very electric, so we're looking forward to that. All right, just to wrap things up here, we're going to go through some questions for you. Just, again, no wrong answers, just trying to get to know Owen McCoon a little bit better and what some of your favorite things are in life. Favorite food?
French fries. I love them.
French fries. Okay. Any particular location for French fries?
Any.
Any. All right. I'm a little addicted to McDonald's French fries.
Theirs are pretty good. Yeah.
They're not bad. I'm not the biggest fry person, but for some reason McDonald's gets me every time. Favorite movie?
Probably Step Brothers.
Step Brothers. That's you and AJ.
It's a funny one.
That's AJ's too, I believe. Favorite subject in school?
Science.
Science. Again, another science person. Okay. And you've had a lot of them, whether it's been baseball. We made a great run this past season to the Elite Eight in baseball. You helped lead our team there, state championship, all kinds of things that Owen McCoon's been part of. What's your favorite athletic accomplishment here at Perry High School?
Definitely winning the state championship, because we're a whole team, and it was a team thing. It wasn't just one person. and it feels like we brought the whole community together.
Yeah.
And it was just great to watch it.
It was. Shout out to our
Play.
community, our Perry, the entrance we had back, not to relive it all again, but the back in that night after the state championship with the fireworks and the parade the following Friday. It was just amazing, and shout out to our community. They're a huge support of our for the athletic department and our team. So they really demonstrated that last year. All right, if money no object, place you would visit anywhere in the world.
Ooh. Probably what Julian said, Australia or like France or something
Okay.
like that.
France. All right, I like that. Both good countries. Both would give you a good experience, I'm sure. And then we talked about it a little bit, but let's talk about your college plans. All right, you're a senior. You've committed to Louisiana Monroe to play baseball. So talk a little bit about that experience, and then we'll get you out of here as well. But how the recruiting worked and what you're excited about going on to Louisiana.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited to go down there. Weather is no worry about the weather. It'll always be hot.
Yeah.
No snow. South ball, nothing's better than South baseball.
Okay. Well, we wish you nothing but the best. Obviously the rest of this year, football, baseball, as well, and then in your career, we know you're going to do very well in everything you do, and you're a great leader for our senior class and a great role model for our younger athletes. So we appreciate everything you do, Owen.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me out here.
All right, thank you. Good luck on Friday, and we'll see Owen and the rest of the Perry Pirates on Friday, September 6th at home as they take on the Kirtland Hornets. Good luck, O.
Thank you.
So as Owen goes, we welcome in Coach Stavar coming up next. Obviously, it's going to be a busy week here at home for Perry. So ticket-wise, what do people need to do to maybe get those tickets in advance, make sure that there's no issues once they arrive here at the stadium?
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, there's a new state law out there, so we have to be pretty we have to have different prices now for students and adults at the gate. So our Chagrin Valley ticket prices at the gate are $8 for adults. They're $5 for students. It's cash at the gate. And then you can also buy them online. We use Hometown Ticketing here through the Perry Athletic Department, I would say. They're a big sponsor of a lot of Ohio schools. So I would say most schools are using Hometown Ticketing. So if you feel like you want to get your tickets in advance, there's a small convenience fee to buy them, and then you just show your QR code when you arrive at the gate. So that's an option as well. So there's a credit card option, there's a cash option. Euclid is the same on Friday. They will offer their $8 adult tickets, their $5 student tickets, and you can go to their athletic department website to purchase in advance if you'd like, and they will accept cash at the gate. That's the other part of the law. You have to accept cash at the gate. There was a time where a lot of schools were going strictly online or credit card only, and the state stepped in and said, that's really not the best thing for all of our patrons coming to the games, and I would agree with that. I think we need to offer both ways to pay, and again, a reminder to all of our athletes out there, all of our students, 9 through 12, you get free admission to every home event. So again, that soccer match Thursday night. Our first home volleyball match will be next Thursday, September 5th. Come on out, support our teams. It's free. We offer a $50 pass for any middle school student, grades 5 through 8. $50 gets you into every home athletic event for the entire year. So if you're going to go to 10 or more events, it makes sense to buy that Red Army pass, is what we call it down at the middle school level. So, and then, we're just asking our fans that when you had, girls soccer, when we bring Coach Stavar, and we played out at Holy Name on Saturday. Every school's got a little bit different policy. Just visit that particular school that you're looking for. You can buy a ticket online, but always know that, again, by state rule, they have to offer cash at the gate. So if you're always like, I have to hurry up and go buy a ticket online, it's really not the case. You can just buy it at the gate.
Well, so as we welcome in Coach Stavar and talk about the girls soccer program, we talked last week about their big win at Ursuline, or against Ursuline, I should say, but they had a big win against Holy Name.
Holy Name, 5-1. Again, another West Side school. We talked about that a little bit. With the boys soccer, that difference between that West Side and East Side sometimes is pretty dramatic. So happy to go out on the road to Parma Heights and get a win at Holy Name, as we're joined by Coach Stavar. Is this actually your 20th year as a head coach?
I think so.
Okay, that's what I think. Sure. That's Mr. Winters found that. Gene found that, so that's a great stat. He's very good with the stats. So 20 years. How has this season gone for you so far? Obviously, a couple of wins, tough Hoban team. How are the girls' attitudes, and how has the season been going so far?
Yeah, it's been okay. We're a work in progress. We're missing some key players from last year. We're somewhat young, but they keep grinding away at it. So I think the attitudes have been pretty good. We certainly could have folded after we played Hoban. We played so well for about 50 to 55 minutes.
Okay.
The wheels kind of came off at the end, but you'll have that when they can play 18 players and not miss a beat. But I think overall things have been pretty good. I think if all things go right, I think we can be pretty dangerous in October. But Carino and I think that's probably when things will come together.
Okay.
Coach, you were just talking about how you have seniors, but you're mainly a younger squad. How have these seniors, maybe even into last year, helped your younger girls, your freshmen and sophomores, get prepared for this season?
I think most of the seniors don't do a lot of talking. They're more like, let me show you how we do it here. They lead by example. So, they come in, they take care of their business. When they get into the games, they work as hard as they can. But I think if you come to a game and you listen to the talking that's going on sometimes from the seniors, you'll notice that there's a lot of teaching that goes on the field. We do have a lot of inexperienced players that get into games. We know that we're going to, as a team, need them to be able to step up later in the season. It might even be earlier in the season. But that kind of teaching on the field, that coaches cannot do, because I'll get a yellow card if I step out on that field. They do that. They do it. So it's nice.
And for you, how has this game changed from year 1 to year 20? I mean, how has this game evolved in the high school landscape?
That's funny.
Loaded question.
Yeah. I think that way back in the day, most teams played a variety of kickball. There's a lot of kick and chase. That was the chief tactic, right? Kick the ball as far as you can, go chase the ball. Fastest kid gets there, hopefully sticks it in the net. That doesn't work anymore. So that's probably the biggest way, right? You want to string together, 6, 7 passes. You want to hold on to the ball. You want to possess. You want to possess with purpose. And that just wasn't happening before. If you could string together 2 passes in a row back in the day, everyone thought that you were going to play professionally someday.
Well, and let's talk a little bit. I mentioned it in last week's pod in regards to some of the team sports expanding divisions, and girls and boys soccer is one of them. Volleyball has expanded to 7 divisions now. Girls and boys soccer will be at 5 divisions. So we are in Division 4 for girls soccer. And you mentioned that postseason, and not that we're going to jump ahead here from late August to October 17th, which would be our first postseason match. Is that a good thing for us, an extra division? How does it change your mindset at all from a coaching standpoint? Just talk to us a little bit. But now, being in Division 4, we were in Division 2 for pretty much your entire career.
Yeah, I think we could use another 2 divisions.
I would agree.
My athletic director told me that we were going to have 7. That was very exciting. And then he said, well, he didn't make a mistake. Someone else made a mistake, and there will be 5.
There will be 5.
There are 5. Yeah, we're Division 4. Yeah, that's really good for us. We're not playing against teams that have 200-300 more girls. I guess that was a really big problem for a couple of the teams moving up to Division 2.
Mm-hmm.
There was a case maybe 2 or 3 years ago. We had a Division 2 team move up. They were 1 over the Division 2 threshold, and they'd have to play a team that, one of the biggest schools in the state of Ohio. And that's just hard to do. So we're playing schools that are about our size. They might have more club players than we do, but I think it's going to make things a little bit more competitive, for everybody.
Well, and that was the goal from the OHSAA perspective, from Columbus, the office down there, that, again, they were looking at models from around the country, trying to be similar to other states, and we were on the low end as far as our divisions went. So I think initially there was some uproar, like, oh, it's too many divisions, and how are you going to host all these extra playoff games and all of these things? And, again, I give them credit because they said, hey, we'll deal with it. Whatever we need to do, if we need to find more host schools, if there's more money, that we need to put forth, we'll do that as a state association to make sure it does level out that playing field a little bit. So we're excited about it. I would agree with Coach. Like Division IV for boys and girls soccer and Division IV for volleyball are a good thing. Of course, we'd probably like to be in Division V for football, where we were last year, but we're by one, we're in Division IV. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, we're excited about the D4 thing.
And coaches, this season continues to go along. The game against Ursuline, Jordan Rowan, 6 goals, obviously a special talent. Over your time, what makes her special? What have you seen from her growth as a freshman to where she's at now?
She came to us pretty much a polished player when she was a freshman. She definitely has gotten better, but she was pretty much a finished product when she walked in the door. She's tenacious. She just does not stop. Her work rate is incredibly high. She wants to put the ball in the net. She just wants to put the ball in the net. I think one of the goals that she scored against Hoban, she was 1 on 5.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Pretty special player, committed verbally right now to the University of Kansas. Will that be our first D1 girls player that we've had here, at least in your time?
No.
Okay, we've had some
We've
others.
had
Emily Hinton,
Emily-
back.
Emily Hinton, yeah. Right.
Back. That was one of my first years, I think, here.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Eastern Illinois. But yeah, Jordan's just a fantastic player. We don't know. We're going to go back and search the record books. She'll probably be in that seat at some point this season. We'll probably wait a little bit longer into the year and see what type of records she's chasing. But I know if you also talk to Jordan, like, she's team focused and she wants this team to be successful, and she knows we're going to go as she goes. And like Coach said earlier, that leadership, may not say a lot of words. She's pretty quiet, but leads by example, and how hard she works. And I think other girls see that, and it helps out.
Yeah, I think that when you talk to Jordan, we did a media day the other day.
Mm-hmm.
She was on it. There isn't a whole lot of. She doesn't really talk about herself.
Yeah.
It's all about the team, about how the team plays together. The vision that she has for the team.
Yeah.
And she means it.
So let's talk about another senior that unfortunately will just have to continue to lead by example, and I think she's done a fantastic job being put in an extremely tough spot. Day 1 of practice, 15 minutes to go in practice. Allison Hopkins gets injured. We're not sure how serious it is. Ends up being a season-ending type of injury. Just talk a little bit about Allie and what she means to this team. I've seen her, get back up from it's. I don't want to talk specifics about the injury. I think everybody knows what kind of injury she had. It's a devastating one, but she was up and about. She had surgery, and within a couple of days, she was back with this team. She's been on the bench. She's trying to be part of it, and I know the girls wanted to be part of it. Talk a little bit about what Allie means to our soccer program.
As far back as her sophomore year, Al was a coach on the field. We kind of missed that, but she's on the sideline. We talked to her the other day. She said she sees the game a little bit differently on the sideline.
Sure.
And we've always been a program where we do a lot of talking at halftime, and most of it is not coach-driven.
Right.
Most of it is player-driven. If it has to be coach-driven, it can be. But Al's kind of stepped in as another coach, and she can talk to players about game tactically. She's very knowledgeable about the game, and it's been kind of helpful. And it's really helpful to hear from someone other than the two talking heads, who sit on the bench most of the time, who haven't played soccer, for 30 or more years.
Yeah. No, and we wish Allie nothing but the best. I know she's going to work hard to get back for swim, hopefully for swim season and for track, and finish off her senior year strong. So, but still a big part of our soccer program, and I think she'll be beneficial to us here as we start to play in some of these bigger matches toward the end of the year. Madison will be a big CVC match for us, probably a CVC championship type of match, depending on. Got a lot of soccer before that, but that's what it was last year. So, looking forward to another postseason, and Allie will be part of that.
And you got Conneaut and Riverside coming up this week. So as the fans come out to watch you, other names besides Jordan that fans should keep their eyes on this year?
Everyone on the team.
Okay.
But if you're going to look at some player, if you're going to look at specific players, I guess, the young Rockwell girl in goal, she kind of stepped in reluctantly, but she's done a really nice job in goal. We hope to get her out of goal and get her on the field some, but I think if you watch her, she's a lot better than she thought she was going to be. She's been exceptional. Indora Porcello, we talk about her. She's kind of like the point guard, in basketball, but we call that person the spoon.
Yeah.
And she kind of makes us go in the middle. She's the person who definitely connects the back to the kids up top. We've got a couple of really good freshmen. Bree Kizig has stepped in as one of the holding center mids. We usually play with three. She's done a really nice job. She does a really nice job on the ball, but most of her work's been defensive. I think if she starts to feel more comfortable in her role, I think you're gonna see her break out on the offensive side as well. Yeah. We've got Chloe Carringer, who's also one of the center mids, and we started to see her get a little bit more comfortable in the spot that she's been in, and she provided a little bit of a offensive push for us. We've got really good players, everywhere. But sorry if I didn't mention you. You can blame Mr. Rockwell.
That's all right. I'll take the blame. But yeah, I think just watching this team, come together a little bit in the summer, and especially once mandatory practices started, and to see what we're going to have to work with exactly, and through the first 3-4 matches, like Gene said, we've got Conneaut and Riverside this week. Riverside's always a big rival for us. While it's a non-conference match, it's all we've had some good matches with them over the years. So should be an exciting week of girls soccer, and then we're going to get into some bigger CVC matches, as I mentioned, as we go through the year, and we will host Kick for the Cure here on Wednesday, October 9th. So we're ways away from that, but. It's a great event when our two communities come together, and we are big rivals athletically, but at the same time, we come together and try to raise money for a great cause. So the little pink jug is in play there. So we will actually host that night. We'll host volleyball, boys soccer, and girls soccer, all with either Kick for the Cure or Volley for the Cure event, which will raise money for cancer research. So. Looking forward to a great year, Coach, and best of luck. And I'm sure we'll have you back on as we get later on in the season, much to your dismay, probably. But we will have you back.
I can hardly wait.
All right. Thank you, Coach Stavar, for spending some time with us today here on the Perry Athletic Department podcast. Again, looking for some fun times here moving forward. We didn't want to bring up the Streetsboro game from last year. As he's shaking his head at me. Yeah, I thought he was out of the room. But, it was a rough call last year, a rough way to end the year. We lost by a goal. There was a goal that was counted as a goal that wasn't a goal, went behind the net, not in the net. So there was some controversy there. I think our coaches handled it very well. Our players handled it very well. They were disappointed, but in a way that sort of fed some of our off-season work, and certainly now that we're in the season is going to, move them. We don't want to have what happened last year happen again this year, and the fact that we're Division IV will help us a little bit, and we'll see where we go. But it should be a fun postseason run here for the girls soccer program.
Yeah, and as this wraps up covering all the fall sports, the two main things: one, you can get out and view this as it comes about, but more importantly, get over to Twitter because we need a name.
Yeah,
and
we
you
need
have
a
the
name.
names. The poll's going to be up. Make sure you get out there and vote.
Right. So welcome to Paradise is option number 1. All hands on deck will be option number 2, and walk the plank will be option number 3. So again, all with the idea behind it, all Perry or Pirate themed, talking about our kids and our coaches and our teams and how they represent our community each and every week. It's been fun so far. I appreciate you and Al Kellogg and your efforts to make this possible, and the time that you guys spend doing this and helping promote this. Let's get this out there into the world of podcasting. And so wherever you get your podcast, I think that's what I always hear on the jingle. Look us up, and hopefully you'll find us, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, right now it's on Spotify. You can search Perry Pod, but once the official name comes, we'll get that switched, and you can tune in each and every week as new players of the week, new happenings around the fall landscape, which is just exciting to roll you into winter and into the spring sports.
All right, Gene, thanks again for your time, your efforts, and go Pirates.